This is Kevin Mayo, your American correspondent for Real Ale Craft Beer, and today we're drinking Wachusett Green Monsta IPA. 6.1% alcohol by volume, 55 IBUs, and it's brewed by Wachusett Brewing Company. Wachusett Brewing has been around since 1993. They've been around just over 20 years. They're in Westminster, Massachusetts, which is kind of out in the woods, probably about, I guess maybe 20 miles north of Worcester, Massachusetts, which I am from Worcester originally. If you know anything about the Boston Red Sox, you know the Green Monsters, the nickname of the Big Green Wall. They are using the colors, the Red Sox colors. They've got a little bit of baseball stitching on it. And they're obviously playing on our local team here. So I had swore I'd reviewed this before, but when I went looking, I have never reviewed this. So this will be the first time on video. And like I said, this is a company that's been around 20 years. They make a lot of different beers, and they make a lot of good beers. Their Larry Imperial IPA is really, really good, and I did review that one. So let's go ahead and give it a pour. And just because it's a Boston-based thing, I'm using my Sam Adams glass. No other reason than we're staying in Boston. So let's take a look at it. We've got massive carbonation in this. Just bubbles streaming up everywhere. We also have 3 fingers of tight white, slightly off-white head. And color-wise, I would call it a dark yellow, and it's a little hazy. I don't know if it's not bottle conditioned or can conditioned, but it is, I think, probably unfiltered. I don't know if there's a date on this anywhere. I haven't found one yet. But they do brew a lot of this, so I'm assuming it's going to be fairly fresh. It's a year-round, and it's one of their big staples. So let's do Aroma. And it smells just like a big, juicy lemon. A little bit of the malt background. So some of that, a little bit of that dankness that we always talk about. And like I said, lemon, citrus. Just a faint aroma of cut grass. None of the pine that we get in a lot of the IPAs. But yeah, just a solid, what you'd almost expect from an IPA. A little bit of the malt dankness up front. You're getting the citrus and the lemon. Getting a little bit of cut grass. Let's do the taste. That's good. That's real good. So we get first taste. We get the malt. So a little bit of like white bread, I guess, is probably the best way to describe it. A little bit of grapefruit. Some lemon. A little bit of the cut grass again. It finishes it really coats the tongue. You're getting that resin on the tongue. You're getting that solid, piney, resiny taste on the tongue. Finishes quite dry. And it finishes fairly bitter. 55 IBUs, I would have guessed it was a little heavier than that. West Coast, East Coast, I don't know if I'd really put it in either camp. It seems to kind of be straddling the line. It finishes a little bit bitter with that strong bitter aftertaste, but at the same time, we've got a lot of the other taste up front, and it's not overly bitter. A real drinkable IPA. A real go-to IPA. Something that, every time you drink a beer, you want to be refreshed, you want good taste. You don't necessarily want to have your socks knocked off. Sometimes you just want to sit there and enjoy a beer. And this is a real solid go-to beer. I mean, my go-to beer is usually if I'm just going to sit down, watch a little TV, maybe a baseball game, Lagunitas, Dogfish Head 60, or I'm missing one. So Lagunitas, Dogfish Head 60, Goose Island IPA. This fits right in there with all three of those. It's a little bit more, I think the Dogfish Head and the Lagunitas are a little bit more malty, where this one's a little bit more on the bitter end of it. So again, I'm not calling it West Coast, but it trends that way a little bit more. But really, really good beer. Solid beer. I'm enjoying it immensely. Score-wise, I think we're going to give it a solid, this is a B+ beer. We're going to give it an 87 out of 100. Till next time, keep drinking.